How to really turn off already disabled autocorrect feature in Windows 10. In Windows 10, there's the option to turn off autocorrection of spelling errors in Settings, Devices, Input. In Windows 10 Mail, you can also disable the highlighting and autocorrection of spelling errors when writing an email in the Options menu. Still, the autocorrection will be correcting errors on its own, which is even more annoying when you're writing in a language Win 10 doesn't understand. I presume that the spell check is somehow integrated into the keyboard language, but only active within some applications, maybe those that don't appropriately control it. I have several different languages installed, with German being the main one, but no English keyboard installed, as it is simply not necessary when using the German one, no additional keys/letters in English, and I prefer the language list not to get too long. Now when writing a mail in English, it autocorrects everything German style, in Mail. Within the keyboard settings, control panel time, language and region language keyboard options, I have access to some details regarding the spell checking, differently for different keyboard languages, but no option whatsoever to just turn it off. Regardless of me using a German layout for English input, there should be an option for anyone not wanting a spell check to turn it off, shouldn't it? Does anybody have a clue whether there is another hidden option for spelling checks which could really turn this thing off?
I was going through the same issue, and here is what I believe to be the most correct answer. You cannot turn off AutoCorrect in Windows 10 Mail. It lives its own life independent of Windows 10's typing settings. You can, however, change the language for an entire mail, but it's not obvious how to do that. You might think selecting all and then choosing a language up in the language area at the top of the screen might allow you to type an email in one language, but you would be wrong for thinking that, so stop it. It's too logical for today's modern app design, you know. Windows 10 Mail listens to the language you set in your system region settings. In order to type an entire mail in a single language, select your language down in Windows 10's language bar before typing. After every character, Windows 10 will pull the language set in the language bar and set its own language back to that language. That's why setting a language in Mail itself isn't sticky.
This is an old question, but this might be the right answer. The reasoning seems that group policies take precedency over user settings. What worked for me? Open the Gedit MSC, just type into the search/Cortana and click the first option. Go to a User Configuration, Administrative Templates, Control Panel, Regional and Language Options. Enable both, turn off AutoCorrect ... and turn off Highlight ... I had the exact same issue, so I switched to Thunderbird instead. But still many other apps used the spell checking and autocorrect feature of Win 10, although it was turned off. But finally I found an easy and definite way to really turn it off in all apps. 1. Go to c:\windows\system32. 2. Rename spellcheckinghost.exe to spellcheckinghost.exe, or any other name. 3. Rename spellcheckingfacility.dll to spellcheckingfacility.dll, or any other name. 4. Restart your PC. Works fine for me. No more spell checking, no more autocorrection. Please could somebody confirm this for the Mail app as well, since I completely removed the Mail and Calendar app from Windows. Edit. In order to rename the files in System32 folder, you have to gain ownership of the files. Right-click, Properties, Security, Advanced, Owner. Now set permissions to read and write.
I think I found a way. It's a bit dirty and might lead to unintended consequences, and I haven't actually checked it on the Mail app, which I don't use, but it now works on other apps I'm using that showed the exact same annoying behavior before. Do it at your own risk, and make sure to back up your stuff before. Regedit. Siege 4, Autocorrection. You'll find that many entries are still set to 1, and all our input settings is _. Change all of these to 0. I considered automating it, but manually doing it didn't actually take long, it was maybe 30-ish entries. My guess is, they allow apps to control autocorrection behavior on their own and app developers don't utilize the feature, meaning you're stuck in whatever the default is, probably 1.
Since there is no way to work against the spell correction, another way is to play along. Mail checks your spelling based on your current language setting. Just add your language in Windows, Region and Language setting. Don't download Language Pack. See below. Whenever you want to switch the language you write your mail in, press Windows space to change the language. The text you write in this setting is somehow marked with the corresponding language and gets the right spelling correction /red underline. Update. Caution. After installing Language Packs Windows 10, with Creators Update, started behaving strangely, e.g. starting to display Windows in German, even though I put English as standard language. I advise to not install the language pack but only the languages itself.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.